We came to break a cycle today. And I bring up cycles, and I bring up these muscle memory questions, and I bring up, is your faith on autopilot themes, because the man in Acts chapter 3 who is sitting at this gate that two disciples, Peter and John, encounter, provides us the very foundation upon which we can break a cycle. He does. Because this man, the Bible says, as Peter and John went up at the hour of prayer, in verse 2 it says, a certain man who was lame from his mother's womb was being carried there. And they carried him and laid him there daily. Let me help you understand. Lame from his mother's womb. That means all this man has ever known is lameness. This man has never ran on the playground and playing tag. He's never rode his bicycle with the other kids. He's never been able to do anything that required the use of his feet and his ankles. He has always had to be carried somewhere. And the Bible says he was lame from his mother's womb. All he has ever known is his condition. All he has ever known is his issue. Watch this. All he has ever known is the lack of resources he's never had. And that's an all too real scenario for many of us, and we allow the lack that we've always lived in to tell us where we can and can't go. And this man is hostage. He is hostage to his condition. He has lived his entire life frustrated about where he couldn't go, all because of what he couldn't do or what he didn't have. Hear what I just said again. This man, like some of us, are living frustrated, upset, depleted, defeated, all because of where he couldn't go and all because of what he couldn't do. He's lived his whole life being limited. He's lived under the limitation of what he couldn't do. Therefore, he could not experience anything better because there was a cycle in his life. There was a cycle in his life. And I know the text says he was lame from his mother's womb, meaning when he was born, he came out broken. When he was born, he was birthed into conditions that were already set against him. When he was born, he was already birthed into an environment that was set up to limit him. He was born into limitation. He was born into lack. He was born not having the ability, not having the resources. He was born into this. But I want to break down that phrase, he was lame from his mother's womb, and just talk about those couple of words, he was lame from. And it prompts a question, what are you lame from? Because he was lame from his mother's womb, meaning when he came out, he was lame. But I found out there are many things that we are all lame from. Are you still bitter from who hurt you? Are you still lame from that? Are you still angry over who left you? And are you still resentful of what they did to you? Is there some relational trauma that's kept you from experiencing greater in relationships that God has ordained because of trust that's been broken elsewhere? See, I've realized that when trust gets broken in previous relationships, it's very difficult to put trust in new people who God brings into my life. And it's a trick of the enemy and the adversary, the devil, he wants to use to keep you from connecting to God-ordained relationships. Because if the enemy can use that broken relationship and that relational trauma and cause that to break the trust in people, you won't trust anybody, whether they be good or bad, and you carry that in a cycle of life. Yeah? And it says he was lame from his mother's womb, but I wonder, are you lame and still suffering the effects of being rejected? Everybody in this room under the sound of my voice has been rejected at some point in life, and in some way, shape, form, or fashion, we have had to battle through rejection. Are you still lame from rejection, and you don't know how to pick up the pieces of your heart and go forward in life, and you're still lame from what and who rejected you? I know there's some cycles that need to be broken today, but we first have to address what I'm lame from. What am I lame from? What's keeping me from advancing? What is the issue? What is the problem? What am I lame from today? And the Bible says, verse 2, part B, that he was carried, and it says, whom they laid daily at the gate of the temple, which is called Beautiful. Who laid him there? They. They laid him there. And anytime I see the word they, I always get curious. Who is they? I wonder who the they are in your life. Who are the they that are carrying you? See, this man, all he knows is being carried. Yeah? Not just outside the womb. He was carried in the womb broken. He was carried in a messed up situation from the start. And these people, whoever they are, they have a cycle. They have a cycle. And I love that the Bible never mentions who they are. It only mentions where they bring him. Because it gives us a point here. It gives us a picture. It gives us a picture of, it doesn't mention their names, it doesn't mention who they are, but it does mention where they bring the man to. And every day there is a cycle. Every day they go pick him up from his house. They organize and get around him. They lift him up and they leave his house and carry the man to the gate. They carry him to the threshold of something that is just beyond him, his ability to step into. He's always coming to the precipice of something. He's always coming to the entrance of something and never has the ability to step over into greater because of his condition, because of a cycle. And they represent something for you and I that you could not be advancing and not be breaking cycles because of the wrong they. Because these friends, carried him to the entrance and didn't take him any further into the temple. Right? But I can't help but think about another set of friends in the Gospels that one day Jesus was teaching in a house. And the Bible says that the power of God was present to heal them. And here came some friends. Here came another set of they. And they were carrying a lame man. This man couldn't walk. He couldn't do anything by himself. He couldn't do anything for himself. But he had some theys in his life. And these theys carried him to the front door of the house. And when they got to the front door, they could not go in because of the room and the capacity of the house was already filled. But they were the right they. They were not the wrong they. And these theys said, we're not going to leave you at the entrance of something. We're not going to leave you at the precipice of your breakthrough and let you have to fend for yourself. No, we're not going to stop at this level. Let's find another level. And so they went up some stairs to a literal another level called a roof. And they went to the roof. Thank God for rooftop relationships. I love rooftop relationships. They don't mind getting dirty. They don't mind doing what's necessary. They don't mind praying for you when it's necessary. They don't mind. They are not content to let you stop at the door of expansion, the door of advancement. And so they say, no, there's got to be another way. One no doesn't mean an eternal no. There's just got to be another way in. There's got to be another access point. There's got to be something better. And so they took this lame man from the entrance of the closed door and they started to march him up the stairs. And Chris, when they got up on the roof, they started to tear the shingles apart. Now these boys had to be from Kathleen because they made some kind of pulley system. I don't know how they did it, but they made some kind of pulley system and they let the man down right where he needed to be, which was at the feet of Jesus. And the Bible says when Jesus saw the man, he looked up and saw their faith. He didn't see the lame man's faith, he saw Bay's faith. He saw the Bay's faith and said, because of their faith, your breakthrough is going to happen because the right they brought you to the right place. I'm going to do for you what the wrong they couldn't bring you to. I want to tell somebody, if you're going to advance and break some cycles, you're going to need some people who don't mind taking it to the roof and throwing some shingles off and praying you through when you don't feel like praying for yourself, and telling you to keep serving when you don't want to keep showing up, and telling you to keep giving when you feel like you're depleted. You better keep going to that roof because that's where the right they are. Come on, somebody shout, break the cycle. Come on, high five the right days around you and tell them, we breaking it today. I'm breaking the cycle today. I'm breaking the cycle today. There's some generational curses that need to be broken, and I need the right they who've been through some of the same experiences I've been through, who can say, that's all right, baby. That door might have closed right there, but let's go a little higher. Take your thinking a little bit higher. Put your thoughts on things that are above where Christ is seated, Colossians, and put your thoughts on things that are victorious for you. Get around some people who won't let you settle. This is not the time to settle for average. This is the time to push to push and to break the cycle that's been limiting you.